Yes, I've been recording Plato's Cave for navigating patterns, or trying to. I might have to start over and do it again. So there's something on the board this time. But yeah, that's what you get because this is not the channel for like professional looking stuff. Still in a t-shirt. Just wanted to talk real quick, or talk, rant about AI and this accelerationism, which you can see in computers right now with AI in particular. So if you go look and probably unavoidable if you're a techie guy. Uh, you got Hugging Face, and they have like 200,000 models, AI models. And what is a model? Well, model's kind of like a brain with a particular um, starting point that builds a structure plus training, right? And there's a lot of combinations there. What is AI? Well, that's a good question. And then each of these sort of combinations makes a claim, true or not. So I'm not going to disparage anything here. True or not, that ultimately it's better at this, or it's better at this than this other thing. Most of them are benchmarking against ChatGPT or one of the other big ones, right? That's sort of publicly accessible. Fine and fair. Don't care. Um, but that's interesting already, I would say. And so then you sort of like get the sense, like, well, wait a minute, where's AI? We were supposed to have AGI, artificial general intelligence, which is like this merging of the AIs, but actually we have this huge splitting. It's huge, 200,000 something models. I think it's what they said. I was like, what? Wait, Hugging Face has how many? And you can run them all yourself, so you could do your things locally on your machine and everything. Like, it's is that supposed to be better? I don't know. They're very hard to run, by the way. Most of the software to run them actually doesn't work amazingly. So if you got it to work, congratulations, but also doesn't work on stock machines. Um, the download buttons don't work. It's weird. Or the downloads stop in the middle. It's very strange. All kinds of strange. I'm not the only one seeing those bugs. It's all kinds of strange bugs with this infrastructure. It's part of the flood, right? So you see the flood comes in. That's the flood. That's the splitting apart. Right? We're supposed to have this coming together, this unity, and this big AGI, and actually we just have more garbage. And it's garbage, most of it. Um, LLMs make powerful search engines. Search engines depend on data, though, so that's the limitation. Single biggest limitation to search is data. Google did not get big on a better algorithm. We can argue whether or not it had a better algorithm. Whatever, doesn't matter. Google got bigger and better and beat everybody because it searched the web faster and cheaper than everybody else. Just it's in the history. You can look it up. I did. I've read like 4 different stories, or maybe read 3 and seen one talk. And actually, the key to Google is cheaper hardware. At the end of the day, cheaper custom built hardware, where they were doing crazy things like using car batteries instead of UPSs because it was that much cheaper. And so they've got this freaking 1U unit underneath in the same rack as Alta Vista, which was their rival at the time, one of their rivals at the time. They've got a 1U server. Alta Vista's got, I think it's 8U, maybe it's only 4U of servers, $30,000 worth of hardware. Google's got $1,000 worth of hardware, some ridiculously low number, and it's searching faster at 1U. That's how they won, because they were able to index more of the web than anybody else. It wasn't the algorithm. It's not the algorithm doesn't help, or the algorithm, doesn't need to be there, but better algorithm it wasn't, right? And you see this consolidation around Google. Why? Because they did the consolidation. They took all of the web pages and put them in their search engine, and no one else had as many. And that's why Google was successful. The unity. But in AI, you get everything spreading apart. And LLMs are great for search. Why? Because that ordered algorithmic search system that Google used, which they've since abandoned, by the way, different story, very recent too. Like, now search is really all over the place. Like, it was bad a year ago, now it's 100 times worse. That has split apart. Those don't function anymore. So you need something that can actually read the language and order the language, because the ordering is no longer done in the web pages, right? It's no longer done as a function of the web like it was before, because that system's been gamed by a distributed cognition far greater than the distributed cognition of the 10 clever AI people, or 10 clever search algorithm people at Google, roughly speaking. I'm being a little hyperbolic, but not really. And so this splitting apart is here. The flood is here. The search engine optimization scammers have won. That's an article I've seen in a few different venues, uh, and that hasn't reversed as quickly as it has in the past. It may not be reversible. Google's pretty freaking broken. It's kind of catastrophic at this point. But it's interesting how AI is accelerationism, right? You end up with this AI system that is just split apart into 100,000 models, and maybe only, I don't know, a dozen popular core models, and then different training sets on top of those models, and maybe slightly different tuning parameters. But and that's the problem. Like, a lot of these quote models are the same in many, many ways and different in only a few, and yet the results can be vastly different. I mean, that's the nature of the math of a neural net. Just the nature of the math is you change one tuning parameter, you can vastly change the outcomes. Sure, absolutely, I agree. And if you get the tuning parameters right, might be a hint there, then you can get vastly better results. Right, but now you haven't solved the problem, you've moved it. I've talked about this before. We're moving problems. We're not solving them. We're just moving the complexity around. Complexity doesn't go away. And where you want to deal with it is different. Like, you want to deal with complexity in software, or do you want to deal with complexity in infrastructure? Because there's a trade-off there. But the complexity doesn't go away, same level of complexity. Do you want your DevOps people fixing things, or do you want your software engineers being better software engineers? It's a good question. And then when you have different styles of cloud, infrastructures, and hybrid cloud versus private cloud versus public cloud, right, versus no cloud, how do you resolve that? And when you have 200,000 models, how do you resolve that? Where's this complexity going? Why is it that one model doesn't rule them all? I mean, I know why mathematically. I don't know why everybody else doesn't do the math, but apparently they haven't. No, really. This stuff isn't that hard. Everyone's confused. I don't know, but it's worth thinking about. It's worth, like, oh, there's the flood. There's the splitting apart. There's the we think we're unifying, and we're actually flying apart at ridiculous speeds, right? There's the acceleration of the movement of AI. It went kind of overnight to this different models. Oh no, it's different tuning. Oh no, it's different prompting. Oh no, right? And then it's like, this is all these variables at play. It's all this ridiculous multivariate mess. So that's all I got to say on that. I hope some of that made sense. And let me know. Check out Navigating Patterns. I'm going to do my Plato's Republic, Plato's Cave thing soon. Should be getting released. I hope I can get it out next week. I keep struggling with it. Might be done. Maybe my editor looks at it and says, this is good enough. We'll see. In the meantime, I might put out another one of these soon. We'll see.